Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be replacing the clutch springs in our 50cc GY6 scooter. These ones were really cheap on Amazon, 10 bucks from our favorite brand, Glixol. I don't know, nobody knows how you say it. Glacial, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to be installing these. These are 1500 RPM springs. The stock ones are 1000 RPM, I believe. So we're going to see what this does to the scooter. Now, there is a couple things done to this scooter. It's got the slightly bigger jet. It's got exhaust. We just put in a CDI box and performance ignition coil and spark plug wire. There is a few things done to it. I don't know if it's making any more power than normal, but we're going to toss these in and see what happens. First thing you got to do to get to the clutch springs back here is take off this cover. And they are 8mm bolts. And you just take them out. There should be like 8 or 9 of them. I only have 2 or 3 of them in right now because I'm in here frequently. Alright, and then the whole thing comes down. You're going to want to take off your belt just to make it a little easier to get in here. So you need a 17, and I'm going to use an impact to take it off. Keep all of this stuff together, it's very important. Then your belt slips off, just like that. Undo this big boy. Let's see if we can get this thing off. Holy smokes. There it goes. You just need a little more juice.
Holy smokes!
Alright, this actually looks like it's in pretty good condition. We're going to have to stand on this because we don't really have a better option. And then you're going to have to get this nut off. But you got to be really careful because the spring has like under load. So it could fly up and hit you in the face. And we don't want that. Your face looks a certain way and we don't want it to be different. I hit it with the impact. The nut is loose. So basically you want to get your feet on here. You can do this with 2 people and have somebody hold it down. Or you can just put your feet on it like this. The spring's not so bad, so now it's finger tight, so I can take the nut off. And then it's just going to come up. Simple. It's not crazy. It's just, it could fly up and hit you in the face. Here's the springs that we're going to be replacing. This guy and these 3. These ones actually look like they're not bad. Let's take it apart. So we're just going to use a pick, and then you should be able to sneak it under the long side and get it up in there, and then you got to kind of just work it and pry it out, and then it comes out. Pretty easy. On to the next, and you just do it with all of them. Ow. Don't poke yourself with the pick. Alright, and then installing them. Short side of the spring. I don't know, you can kind of tell it's a little bit shorter than the other side, so short side goes here. You just kind of do it in reverse fashion. Hook it in. Get it up there. And you're just going to want to work the pick up kind of into the hole and pry. And then it goes in, just like that. Boom. Look at that. That's good to go. Then you move on to this. This collar comes off. I'm going to wipe it off a little bit. It's got some junk in there. This edge here, you're going to want to grease because the spring slips around on there. And you want it to be lubed up. Obviously, you don't want any friction because when the spring compresses, it turns. You lube up this. Then we're also going to toss a little bit more lube in the little slide bits, the helix. These little pins, they fall out pretty easy, so just don't lose them. They just sit in there. There's little holes that they sit in. We got our sketchy baggie of grease. We're just going to toss a little bit in, a little bit. We're going to toss some on the bottom of this thing here. Alright, slip that back on. Good to go. Slip this in, and then you can put it back together. It's noticeably stiffer than the stock one. I can see where this one would be a little more dangerous than the stock one flying up and hit you in the face. Alright, now that it's on, hit it with the impact, and we're good to go. Clutch is put back together. Putting it back in just goes in reverse order. It's super simple. Do everything backwards, and it goes right back in, no problem. We gotta put the clutch cover back on, and then we'll be set to go and take it for a test ride. I don't know if this is gonna make it better or worse. We don't have a big bore kit on this, which I think is suggested when you add these clutch springs in. Just, you know, you need that extra power to kind of make this a worthwhile thing, but for the sake of learning and knowing what happens when you do these kind of tuning things, we're doing it. We're testing it out. There you have it. We have the scooter put back together with the new clutch springs, so that was kind of how to install them. Now we're gonna test it, go on a cruise, and see what we can tell as a difference. If it's gonna be faster, slower, more acceleration to a lower top speed, higher top speed. I don't know what's gonna happen, but
Wheelie.
wheelies, yeah, dude. We need to wheelie it. Actually, we need to know how to wheelie things.
Or I'll hold the camera.
Okay. I'm gonna throw the GoPro on, and then we're gonna go for a test drive. I'll have my phone running with like the top speed app thingy that I use, so you guys can see. Right now, as the scooter sits, our last video, we got it to go 38 miles an hour. I did test it on the way to here yesterday, and it hit 39. So it goes about 39 miles an hour, like on a good day. So we know that. Now that we have a baseline, if you guys want to see that, watch the previous video where we installed a CDI box, ignition coil, and a spark plug wire. Let's go take this thing on a cruise. See what happens.
Yeah, give us some test runs up and down the driveway.
It doesn't like it at all. Alright, so there is a noticeable difference in acceleration and top speed. It's not fast, it's a lot slower. The scooter doesn't like it. We don't have enough power. We got the phone running now. We're gonna see how fast it goes, and this is kind of downhill too, so let's see. Top speed of 30. Okay, yeah, these springs are coming out for sure. There is a noticeable difference in acceleration once it got warmed up. It did feel quicker, but it only went...
So you're thinking it was running like that just because it was cold?
Potentially, yeah. 32 miles an hour, so we definitely lost top speed, no doubt. But the acceleration did feel quicker. Like it felt like it got up to speed better. Take out the little yellow springs, the little ones, put those back in, but leave the big yellow one, and we'll see what that does. We're gonna take off the cover and do exactly that. You guys saw me do it anyway. I'm not gonna show you me doing it. So we swapped the small springs out and put the stock ones back in and left the 1500 RPM bigger spring in there, and that made it worse. It went a mile an hour slower and it didn't like to accelerate. So we're just gonna put the stock stuff back in and rock that stuff until we end up doing like a big bore kit, because it's like the only thing left that we can do that's like gonna add power. That's probably coming, so stay tuned for a big bore kit. Would I suggest buying this kit? No. If you're just gonna have a stock 50cc scooter, don't do it. It made it accelerate faster, but you're gonna go slower, and that's defeating the whole purpose. So I'd say don't get this kit. So that's knowledge that you guys have, so don't buy this kit unless you have a big bore kit. As per usual, guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. If you guys want to see the CDI box install with the coil and the wire, that's going to be right here. I would suggest watching that. We'll see you next time.
Ay, 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 ay.